Hey, Todd Berry from toddberry.com. Have you ever had the situation, or have you had it yet, where you're prospecting someone and someone else is prospecting them, right? Either from your company or another company. You probably have, and if you haven't, you will. And so I want to give you some insight as to the best way to deal with that. And so I'll tell you a quick story, little fishing story. A few years ago, I was fishing in one of my favorite places in Canada, and in a beautiful little cove. And as we're fishing, this osprey, big bird of prey, flies right over the boat and then flies up and sits in a tree, like a big pine tree that's maybe 100 yards from the boat and elevated. So it's way up, looking down on us while we're fishing. And so I'm fishing, and I hook a little bass, not a big fish about this big, but they break water, right? They jump out of the water. So this fish starts making noise on top of the water while I'm bringing it in. And it's a little fish, so not going to be hard to get it in. Meanwhile, the osprey sees this. And what does the osprey do? The osprey, that's food. So the osprey comes swooping down, and I start riding in really fast because I don't want this osprey to get this fish and get the hook, because that would be a whole conundrum I don't want to have to deal with. And so I get the fish in, the osprey follows it all the way to the boat. I've got it in my hand, and right above me, and this is no exaggeration, it was an unbelievable experience, 4 feet over my head, this giant bird of prey with 6 foot wingspan. Literally, this bird's wings were bigger than me, right? Is swooping right above me, looking down at me like, give me your fish. Give me your prospect, right? I didn't. I gave the little fish a kiss and put him back in the water, and that bird could go get his own fish. But the point is, he wanted my fish, right? He wanted my prospect. And so you're going to have the same thing, right? So the first thing is no scarcity here, okay? There's 7-8 billion people in the world. There's a couple billion in the developed nations. You got plenty of people to talk to. And so real quick, what not to do. Never, never, never talk bad about the other person. Never, right? What's that going to do? Make you look bad, right? It's going to make you look bad. Never make comments about their company, right? If they're in a different company, don't talk bad about their company. Don't talk bad about their product. If someone really pins you down and said, do you know anything about that company? And you do, you need to disclaim it and say, yeah, I know a little bit. And if they ask you, you need to ask them, what do you want to know? Don't just go, well, I don't like the product. I don't like this. You got to be real. Say, well, I don't know a lot about them. All right, this is what I've heard, but I've heard that that's a nice person or something. But you if you don't have, this is one of those, you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all unless they are really pinning you down and you know something horrid, right? That then they got to pull it out of you, and you got to disclaim and say, look, I don't like to say this. I don't build my business, right, by tearing other businesses down. I don't make my house look taller by tearing other houses down, right? So it makes you look bad. It makes the industry look bad. So you never talk bad, all right, at all, ever. Just let it be. And so what do you do, all right? So what do you do is really the message here. So first is say something like, look, I don't know about that. Or I can't speak to that. I don't know every product in the market. I don't know there's nobody in the world that knows every product in every product market, right? I mean, in network marketing, how many thousands of companies are there? How many products are there? It's impossible to know them all, so don't try. I mean, that'd be a waste of your time. So easy to say, I don't know about that, right? So operate from that perspective. Don't tear it down. Just admit, hey, I don't know. I can't speak to that. Then share what are your points of difference. So focus on your story and what's good about you and what's good about what you have to offer. In other words, show why your building is tall, right? Let your building be tall and let them come to their own, right? So share your points of difference. And you could highlight things about your product or service if you know something about the other thing that they're being prospected for, and you know that you have a competitive advantage there. Just highlight it. Don't say, well, see, we have this and they don't have that. Let them figure out they don't have that, right? Say, well, we do this special thing in our manufacturing that makes our product at this level. and they don't, you don't say they don't. You let that person go, I wonder if they do that, right? So that's important. Another, and this is a great Steve Martin quote, be so good they can't ignore you, right? Be so good, right? So the bottom line is, don't worry that someone else is prospecting them. Bottom line, it's going to be their decision anyway, okay? You just need to do the best you can, represent yourself the best you can, so make sure you are nice and honest and respectful, right? Nice, honest, respectful, and no pressure. You're going to stand out without pressure because guess what? I'll bet you the other side is pressuring. I'll bet, right? Just pretty good odds, okay? And then the last thing to think about is if they decide to go elsewhere, wish them well. Don't berate them. Don't make them feel bad. Don't have any scarcity. So what? It's one person. Wish them well and say, hey, if you ever want to talk, you're the kind of person I'd love to work with. I'm going to be here. Let's stay in touch. All right? That will really, really help you. It's going to happen. But bottom line is you always operate with integrity, operate with kindness, operate with respect, and be real. And people will be grabbing you. You will end up getting your share of the people that are between you and someone else. That's just the way it's going to work. So I hope that was helpful. Feel free to share this. If you haven't signed up for my blog yet, make sure that you do. ToddBurger.com. Just go up and put in to get the 27 phrases that will really help you talk to people. And I'll see you next time.